Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Abbie Richie. I'm the tech guru at the Smarter Service, and I'm here every Tuesday talking with people who are engaged in age tech innovation. It is a phenomenal place to be, and I couldn't be more blessed to be in the presence of so many people creating technologies that are helping older adults. Before we bring our panel on, let's go ahead and run the intro. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I am so excited to discuss this topic today of over-the-counter hearing aids. And here's why. I truly believe that this is going to be a massive disruptor in the hearing aid industry, much in the way that, 10-ish years ago, we would have only booked a trip using a travel agent that was complicated, right? And maybe even just for a business travel. But nowadays, we wouldn't even think twice about just booking it for ourselves online. And in that same way, I believe that the OTC hearing aids are going to be available and they're going to be amazing for an older adult, for anyone who needs to have a pair of hearing aids at a significantly lower price. And what I mean by that is like $5,000 less. Okay. And that's a huge discount. So I'm really excited about that. If you could see me just getting, I'm just like jumping out of my chair with excitement because I know that this is going to help so many people get fitted for hearing aids, be able to hear without having to go through the hoops and the expense that is in place right now. And with that, I want to go ahead and bring my panel on. First off, we have Ron. Ron Ganot. Thank you. Welcome on. Yeah, welcome to Tech Tuesday. Ron, please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, Abby. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Ron Ganot, and I'm the co-founder of Tune. I come from a clinical background. I'm an audiologist stationed in Israel. I co-founded Tune about 4 years ago when we understood that there's a new change in the market going to happen with the FDA new guidelines. And this is when we started working on Tune, and I'd be happy to share more about that.
Sure, we will get right to that. My next guest I'm bringing onto the panel today is Dr. Amlani. Dr. Amlani, welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Thank you, Abby. It's a pleasure to be here. Ron, it's nice to see you again, and looking forward to this conversation. I'm a research audiologist. My background is in healthcare economics. And I've been looking at the hearing aid industry for a number of years, so I'm excited to share some insights on where the industry is and what the consumers are looking for.
Perfect. Welcome. And then we also have Andrew Knott. Andrew, welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Abby, great to be here. Ron, nice to see you. And Amyn, nice to see you as well.
So the reason I invited Andrew on is because he's someone who tried them. And he's enjoying them, and he has a lot of insight and perspective to give us about it. So at this point, I want to start with Dr. Amlani. Please talk to us about the status of the hearing aid industry now and since 2002 when the FDA gave approval for OTC hearing aids.
Absolutely. So, the market has a large number of individuals, and we'll talk about the American market. There's about 40 to 50 million Americans that have some form of hearing loss. The overwhelming majority of those individuals with hearing loss have milder versions. Most of these individuals are in their middle ages and older, so it tends to affect middle age and up. On the supply side, we have a shortage of suppliers, and this is common throughout healthcare. And accessibility has been an issue from the standpoint of we're starting to learn now that more hearing loss is actually in the rural areas more so than in the suburban areas. And lastly, the overall market, we dispense about to 20% of the market. So there's a large gap there that these OTCs we hope will fill down the road.
And you mentioned the supply too. Were you talking just simply about the supply of the devices or the availability of audiologists?
So this is the availability of audiologists because the market previously, before the OTC bill, was primarily based on prescription devices where you'd have to go see a licensed audiologist, ENT, or a hearing instrument specialist. Now that the OTC market has opened up, the idea is that we'll see a larger outcome of distribution of these devices. And as we'll talk in this panel here, that didn't happen initially, but that's not to say it won't happen later on.
Right, great. And with so many older adults aging, and also the number of audiologists, are unable to keep up with the demand. Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate in the sense that not all audiologists are going to be able to see the number of patients that are necessary in order to keep up with the growth that we're seeing with the baby boomers and the Gen X's that are coming in. So absolutely.
Great. So Ron, I want to now talk about your app, because really without your app, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I first met you at CES, and you're part of the ATC Age Tech collaboration, which is awesome. And so would you please tell us about the app, the features, the origin, and how it helps?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the Tune app is an AI-powered self-fitting hearing aid platforms, which means that what we try to build with our amazing team is a platform that connects to different kind of hardware manufacturers, electronic brands, etc., that everyone can have their hardware transform into a self-fitting OTC devices. And that's actually what we achieved last October when we reached the FDA milestone and we got the 510K medical device clearance, which was a major milestone for us. What's unique about the Tune, if you would compare us to our competitors, is our AI chatbot. And I actually have a short video demonstrating our capabilities, if you can bring this up. So what you're looking at the left side of the screen is the acoustics outcome of the device itself. And on the right side is our smart AI hearing assistant, which the users can just chat freely in their native language and explain what kind of problems or troubleshooting they need assistance with.
So let me interrupt you for a minute. What does it say right now? It's just a little small. Maybe I need to put my glasses on, but what does it say right now?
So this customer just complained that clattering sounds too sharp, which is a very common problem. A lot of audiologists can relate to that. They see patients coming into the clinic with this problem again and again. And what you actually need to do is change the amplification in the high frequencies, so those metallic sounds won't be as strong, as sharp as it could. What you just saw on the right side is the users just type in the problem, and the AI automatically change the acoustics of the device.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm really excited now to hear from Andrew. So Andrew, tell us your story. How long have you been wearing the hearing aids for? Why are you wearing them, and how is it working for you?
Okay, sure. Well, let me go back to the beginning. About 10 years ago, my wife started complaining that the TV was too loud. I couldn't hear what she was saying. And so I didn't believe it at first, but so I was able to make an appointment with an audiologist. I don't remember how long it took, but I got that appointment, and he told me I was a candidate for hearing aids. And I resisted getting them for a while because I really didn't think the problem was that bad. And I was also the price tag, I heard $4,500 to $6,500 for a good pair. I know there were cheaper ones on the market, but I didn't want the cheap ones. I wanted the good ones. And since I didn't really think the problem was that bad, I didn't want to spend the money. But the problem got worse, I think. I spent a good part of my younger days working in a factory without hearing protection, and so the ones that I have now with the Tuned app are my second pair. This is my second pair of hearing aids, and these hearing aids and combined with this app is a leap in technology. It's a leap forward in technology for sure.
Great. And to the audiologists who are with us today, I noticed that Andrew said he should have gotten them sooner. right? And there was a delay. And so, Ron, can you speak to that as, as people put off getting a pair of hearing aids, what happens to their ears in the meantime?
Yeah. So first of all, there's the social stigma related to hearing loss and wearing hearing aids, and that's something that the entire market is trying to address. And that's a problem that I think will go away over time as we move forward with technology. But the problem is that since the day you are born until the day you die, your hearing loss gets worse more and more. And there's nothing you can do to stop that. That's just a fact of life. If you don't get your hearing loss treated and early onset, you will suffer from more and more comorbidities related to hearing loss. And those could be such as dementia, Alzheimer, depression, tendency to fall, etc. So there's a lot of other stuff related to an untreated hearing loss. And the sooner you address this problem, the better result you will get from your hearing aids.
Yeah, I heard somewhere, because actually I've taken dear clients of mine, to the audiologist and have researched this a little bit, to know that the nerves start to get frayed, right? And then creating those connections back, that, as far as I know, doesn't happen. But Dr. Amlani, can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, so what essentially happens over time is the outer hair cells in the ear, they become damaged or irreparable. And over time, what happens is we continue to increase the volume in order to hear. And when we do that, we accelerate that hearing loss more and more. And so to Ron's point, if we can address this earlier, we reduce that acceleration of hearing loss that then allows for an improvement in quality of life, which is what hearing aids, the ultimate goal is. And it allows for improvement in functionality, which then will help with some of the preventative measures as it relates to those comorbidities that Ron had just addressed.
Thank you. Thank you. And doctor, would you please answer, who are these OTC hearing aids best for? What is the target person who would be wearing these?
Yeah, so the FDA guidelines right now allow for individuals with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss. And what that essentially means is individuals who think of readers. These are individuals that might be struggling a little bit and may only need these in certain situations, or they're getting most of the sounds, but when they enter into an adverse situation like a restaurant, they struggle. And so it's designed for those individuals initially. And again, remember, the market has the most amount of individuals with hearing loss in this range. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is to help those folks who, like in Andrew's case, put them off in order to reduce that acceleration of hearing loss into these other more severe types.
And Andrew, let me ask you, so when you first got them, did you think, oh, I'm just going to wear them, when I'm watching TV or?
Sure. Yeah. The first pair that I got 4 or 5 years ago, I only wore them when I thought I needed them. So if I was in a conference somewhere or in a group meeting, I would put them on, but I wore them very infrequently. And unless it was at night, my wife said the TV's too high, I'd throw them on then. But with this new pair that I have on now, with the Tuned app, I've been wearing them almost throughout the day. I put them on in the morning, and in the past, if I had a meeting like this, I would put in my earbuds, the JVC earbuds, that would be connected to my computer. But I'm not even using those now. I just take the app. I had the app up here, but I just take the app and I slide the volume up and down. I have it a little higher for this, but after the meeting, I'll turn it down because I don't need it that high. And that's
Ron,
what's great about these.
I bet that makes you happy to see that, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. The reason I started this journey is to change people's life, and to see that happens in real life. That's really amazing.
What do you feel like are some, Ron, what do you feel like are some of the adjustments of making the in-app, making some in-app changes without the assistance of an audiologist?
So that's something that we're trying to address since day one. We know there is a lot of confidence that needs to be built with our users. Typically, our users are the elderly, average age of 72 currently in our platform. And we know that we have to give them the tools and the confidence that what they're doing is right. There's nothing they can do that can damage them in some way or can damage the device. And we actually encourage them to play with the app as much as possible because you can always revert back.
Got it. Got it. And so do you think in testing the app, making changes to the tinny noise or making changes to clanking sounds or making it changes when you're at a restaurant, have users been challenged with any of those adjustments?
So in our platform, since it's a cloud-based platform, we can see all interactions our users have with our app and with our AI hearing assistant. And we can see them use that tool on a daily basis. And it's very interesting to see that from the back end, because you can see the different kind of interaction they have with it. Some of them are very happy with the result. I'm being completely honest. Some of them are not. And you can see that interaction that they have. But the majority of times our hearing assistant can solve those problems right here and there, which was something that back in the prescription model, when I was hearing aid dispenser, that was the holy grail, to be able to help your users right here and there when they have that problem. That's amazing. And that's something that we achieved with Tune.
Love it. I love it. And so let's talk on the flip side. Who is this not for? Dr. Amlani, if you would answer that, who is this type of hearing aid not for?
Yeah, and this is a difficult question to answer. Of course, it's for people who have more severe hearing losses. These devices are not designed for them. And of course, if you're having medical contraindications, you want to handle the medical side of it first, and then get treated for your devices appropriately, whether it's OTC or whether it's prescription. But the reason I say that it's complicated is Ron is actually doing this right, because it's not just the technology, it's the support that goes with it. And there's a lot of devices out on the market, which is one of the reasons I think we didn't see the large growth that we were expecting, is they just have limited controls on them. And, you're not then meeting the needs of the individual from a sound quality perspective, from an audibility perspective, and it's not reducing the noise that they're perceiving in the right way. So hats off to Ron and his group for really thinking this thing through the way that they did.
Yeah, awesome. Well done, Ron. And I love the fact that on the back end, the technology is showing where people are getting frustrated, where they're dropping off, where they're asking questions, so that you can continually refine the AI and the direction in the app, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Not only that, we're also working now on a caregiver app. So it's like my mother always called me, help me with something that is not working well at her computer back home. We are doing the same for the hearing aids. So when a person needs an assistant and doesn't want to use our remote support, he can always have one of his loved ones connect into this hearing aid and give them that support from remotely.
Awesome. So not only does the app have a chatbot in it that can help you make adjustments, but you also have call-in support as well, right?
Of course, you can always escalate the dialogue with the chatbot to a live agent that has full control over your device remotely at a time which is convenient for you.
Excellent. Excellent. So, Andrew, I want to ask you now, how has wearing these improved your quality of life?
Let me just address one other thing quickly. So I have a neighbor who bought the hearing aids right after I did, and he's using them now. And he told me that he's called in 3 or 4 times for support, and he's happy that someone answers the phone, and the person that answers the phone speaks English. So, and I actually tried to get him to come on today, but he was out of town. But he just loves the hearing aids, and and I did not know that there was a support system where you could call in and talk to somebody. And I just want to mention to Ron that I think that's really important, because what you're doing is you're displacing that person at the store that does the same thing for $4,000 to $6,000, and so you need to be able to have a successful outcome. You need to be able to help people when they need it, right then and there. And if 1 out of 10 need support and 9 don't need support, fine. You've built a good business.
Great. Thank you. And tell us, how have the hearing aids improved your quality of life in ways that you did not think possible?
Just well, when I go for a walk in the morning, I can hear the birds chirp. Yeah, I can make my wife happy by not having the TV so loud. I don't know. I mean, if you can only pick up part of the conversation, it's a bad thing. So
it really is. Thank you. Ron, I want to ask you now, what features are you looking forward to implementing in the upcoming years?
So as I mentioned, first of all, what we're working on now is the caregiver app. We're also working on a way that you will take a selfie of your ear and it will tell you if you have put the hearing aids correctly. We know that's a big issue in some of the users.
Yeah.
Fine motorics is something that also starts to weaken over time.
What was that? What did you say?
Fine motoric. So
okay.
The ability
what
to
is
do
that?
something like the way to insert the hearing aids correctly and place them in the right place. It's crucial for the sound quality and for your comfort. So we want to have our camera of the app will take that selfie for you and will tell you if you've done it correctly or you need to do some modification. And of course, we are improving our AI hearing assistant so it can help you in bigger variety of scenarios. Also, automatic adjustment to the hearing aids if there's something wrong and similar issues.
Excellent. And Dr. Amlani, I want to ask you, looking into a crystal ball, what features, what kind of innovation do you hope to see in this area?
Yeah, I think Ron touched on it. I don't necessarily think it's the technology per se, although you have to have some of that. It is in the support. It's the ability for somebody to be there. Hearing aids are complicated devices, as Ron pointed out. You have to put them in correctly. You have to be able to adjust them so that they sound appropriate for your needs. You have to be able to adjust them on the fly. And so it's that support that's necessary. I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is the literacy that goes into this is typically written for a dispenser and not necessarily a consumer. So as folks are starting to think about manufacturing these, there needs to be the right verbiage. And then the last thing that we'll talk about is the marketing. A lot of the marketing that goes into these devices right now is based on the traditional market. And this is a different subset of that population. And I think as we evolve and we get a better handle on what those consumers are, you'll start to see this market grow because we'll be capturing the right individuals and funneling them through in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also see this as being a big education piece. The more that we're able to educate potential users on what's available and the quality that's out there, the more and the faster the adoption would be. Ron, do you think so as well?
I definitely think so. I was with Dr. Amlani on a show where I said that new products such as OTC hearing aids will take time to be taken through the general public. It takes time. And I always give this example. iPhone 1 sold 5 million units on the first year, while Nokia sold well over 200 million. It takes time to disrupt this prescription model-based hearing aid market. But I'm sure that this is a great opportunity for a lot of people that had similar story to Andrew, that knew they had a problem, but said, I will take care of it later. I don't want to spend the money. It's not accessible enough for me, etc. and give them the opportunity to order these great devices online, get them do everything by themselves, and have the help they need when they need it. I think that's an amazing change to the entire industry.
And I want to ask you, what is the rate for them? How much are they?
So currently, the JVC devices that we are partnering with are on sale for $699, if I remember correctly, on their website, the JVC shop. But basically, if you look at the entire category of hearing aids, that's around the price tags of OTC hearing aids.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to chime in. I think that's one of the other reasons that we haven't seen this market grow is many of the manufacturers have their OTC devices priced similar to what their prescription devices are. And I'll give you an example. If you walk into a Walgreens and you look on the shelf and you see blood pressure monitors and you see other things, they range from $30 up to maybe $129, and then all of a sudden you got $1,000 set of devices. So they've already been price anchored to this lower price. And to your point, Abbie, just real quick, you had mentioned disruption. Well, disruption means undercutting the market, not playing at the market. And I think that's one of the other things that we'll see. So Ron, in my opinion, not knowing any of his economics or marketing, I think has his devices priced appropriately, where you can go in and find OTCs on the market that rival prescriptive devices, and they don't have the support and the necessary means that Ron has. And I think that's what might be undercutting that market as well.
I agree. And someone wrote in a while back, they wanted to ask if Medicare covers any of it. Is it covered by Medicare?
No, devices at this point in time are not covered. And unfortunately, services at the subsidized government level are not covered. We're hoping that through the Medicare Access, Audiology Access Act, that will change. That's a bill that's sponsored by all three professional organizations in audiology, supported by the Hearing Industries Association and the hearing instrument specialists, where real ear cerumen management and all those things are covered. That's another conversation. But at this point in time, the devices are not covered, and unfortunately, some of the services are not covered. But we're hoping as we move forward, like we have been, that those will be covered in the future.
All right. Good. Well, with just a couple of minutes left, I want to give my guests an opportunity to let people know how they can connect with them. So Ron, how can people connect with you?
So if you're interested in the Tune app as a customer, you can always go into our website, which is tune.in, and have a look at our platform, and you can leave us a message. I promise you one of our team members will get back to you. If you want to connect with me personally, I'm available mainly on LinkedIn. My name is Ron Ganot, so I'm happy to connect with anyone and to answer any question that might come up.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ron. And Dr. Amlani, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way is through LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out. I do some private consulting, mainly for organizations, but we do also do it for smaller organizations. We look at consumer insights, we look at market analyses and other things. If that's something that you're interested in, happy to connect there. If you're just looking for papers and information on the growth of the market, I'm happy to direct you in the right way.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Andrew, how can people connect with you?
Boy, email, I guess, amnotsr@yahoo.com.
Okay.
I do have a LinkedIn page, but I haven't figured out how to put it up on the screen yet. I need someone like Ron to show me how. Sure, if anyone wants to connect with me, shoot me an email, amnotsr@yahoo.com.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on to Tech Tuesday and talking about this. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see where this goes. And for those of you who are in the audience and you've been participating in the chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It makes my day. And we will see you all back here next week.